I watched this week's episode of Baddies Africa, and the girls are getting ready to leave Africa entirely. They're finishing up. They got 3 days left of filming, and they're going to London to finish out film. Now, there's just a couple of moments on this episode that I thought stood out that I want to talk about. And Choco Brown ends up not being able to leave Africa. Overall, I'll say this. I think that Choco Brown actually did a really good job on her season of Baddies. I did like her. I did definitely like her. I don't think that she was a standout baddie, but I definitely think that she did a good job. She was likable. She definitely stood on principle, stood on business. It was nice to see somebody from Africa there, especially compared to LCK, who's a mess. I'm actually starting to like LCK a little bit more towards the end of this season, but I feel like Choco Brown was a better representation. She stood her ground a lot more. She got sick some way through the season, so she kind of had a little bit of a rough run. But overall, I think that Choco Brown was a good addition to the season. Do I think that she should come back? No, I don't think that she was a standout baddie that should be on repeat season. Now, Dolly ends up correcting LCK and says, "Don't even say that Choco Brown is your friend. She's not your friend. Y'all just met," which is true. But come on, Dolly. Sometimes Dolly does a little bit too much, right? It's like that she's like a mean person. Like personally, I get that the show is what the show is, but sometimes she just comes off as mean and rude. The real thing that happened on the sprinter was Dolly ends up asking either LCK or Russian Cream. I couldn't tell who she asked directly if they were talking about her and what did they say about her. Apparently, there was some incident at the bar where Natalie said that all of the baddies was going to be booked for an event that she was having come up. When Natalie walked away, Dolly walks up and Dolly is like, she points to LCK and Russian Cream and she says basically, not you two, y'all are not getting booked, whatever. There was some debate over what exactly she said, but Russian Cream went back and told LCK what exactly Dolly said. LCK is now explaining that to Dolly, like, yeah, well, she told me that you said this. Now, Dolly said, I did say something like that, but Russian Cream, why you still bringing that up if me and you talked about it? Why are you going back and bringing that up? Russian Cream is getting upset. She says that, no, I didn't say it like that. I just said exactly what happened. LC goes back and forth with Russian Cream and says, no, you said it this way. Russian says, no, you said it. No, I said it this way. They get to arguing. They get to screaming. LCK brings up the fact, she's like, and you talk so much. You hype yourself up so much, but you don't even do nothing. You scared. You scared. You hide behind the big three the whole time. Russian Cream is getting mad. She's getting heated. And she turns around and socks LCK in the face. Now, I'm thinking to myself, hold up. She got a whole cast on. She has been exempt from fighting for a whole three-fourths of this season because she said that she is too injured to fight. And she just stole off on LCK, the like weakest as far as fighting, the most non-fightingest fighter on this show. But with that being said, LCK kind of shocked me because LCK started swinging on her, like backing her up, backing her up. Now, security comes and breaks it up real quick or whatever. They're going back and forth, and you could just tell that Summer and Dolly do not like Russian Cream. They were on LCK's side. They don't like Russian Cream. It seemed like they tolerate her a little bit because Lex likes Russian Cream, but they do not like Russian Cream. Now, Russian Cream ends up crashing out over this, and I'm gonna skip some parts to be able to just explain Russian Cream's crash out. They pull up that sprinter to the new place that they're gonna stay. Russian Cream, she like darts out of the sprinter. She heads out of the sprinter. She running. Lex runs after her, rips her pants, trying to run after her. Lex is trying to run after her to see what's wrong with her. Russian Cream runs into the new house that's going to happen, and the security is trying to stop her. Like, you can't come in yet. You can't come in yet. And she's like, no, I don't care. She spazzing out at this point. She's like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm going inside. Now, of course, the reason why they didn't want her to go in there yet, duh, is because they always do the, oh, we're gonna do a scene where everybody comes in, we're gonna get your reaction to the new, place that you're staying. But Russian Cream was like, no, 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 no. Boom. She crashing out. She's mad. So once all the girls kind of, get in and get their little, reaction scene to the new house, look at their new rooms, all of that. Once that happens, Russian Cream, she's sitting on the steps outside of the apartment. She's over it. She don't even want to be there no more. You could tell that even though it's just 3 days left, she does not want to stay. All right. So Natalie hears about what happened between LCK and Russian Cream. She comes downstairs. She comes outside and she's like, well, what happened? And Russian Cream explains to her, she's like, LCK is milking what exactly, uh, I said about Dolly. I didn't say anything bad. I said exactly what happened. I said how Dolly said that I was not going to be booked and that she was not, and that LCK was not going to be booked with you because you didn't want us there. And Natalie was like, no, I never said that. I'm the one who gets to decide if you guys want to come. You're lit. We like to have you around and you look good. Just come follow me inside. I'm going to stand in front of you. I heard LCK when she said this, said, oh my God. She knew that Natalie was not about to stand in front of her. And I don't even know why Natalie does this on purpose. She just wants drama for the show. And then the only reason why it's annoying to me is because you want the drama for the show, but then whenever the drama happens, you try to pretend like you don't want this drama. I- Okay. So Russian Cream comes back. She comes back up the stairs with Natalie. Natalie said that she was going to stand right in front of her, and Natalie did not do that. Natalie went and sat down back in the chair that she was sitting in before she came and got Russian Cream. Russian Cream standing over there in a corner. LCK uh is listening about the situation. They get to bringing up the situation between Russian Cream and LCK again. Russian Cream goes to try to say her piece and her side of the story. LCK get up, take her wig off, run over to Russian Cream, and Russian Cream is like, no, 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 I'm not trying to fight. And LCK tries to they just LCK went back to her old self when she went into this fight. She wasn't swinging no more. She just grabbed her and tried to put her in a headlock. They wrestling, and they wrestling all into the camera people. So then they fall on the ground and you just see Russian Cream she got on these flip flops and you see the flip flops the flip flops hitting the LCK in the head, and LCK walk away from the fight when they pull her around and her eye is kind of slanted a little bit, head, wig is off, and Russian Cream just she runs down the stairs again, she runs down the stairs again, and she runs outside. Lex goes to run after her again, okay, all right. So then Lex goes to run after her. Russian Cream is trying to run away from the cameras. That's what she was trying to do. She was trying to run away from the cameras. She on the phone with her mom talking about, can you get an Uber? I don't got my stuff on me. How's she gonna get an Uber for you all the way in London and she in America? So then she mad, she on the phone. So Lex pull up on her and Lex is like, no, 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 but you can't do that. You can't hit somebody and then say that you're on injured reserve. It doesn't work like that. You can't control how someone's going to react. You got to be able to go the rounds for rounds. You can't start it if you were on injured reserve. She was low-key speaking facts. But Russian didn't want to hear. Russian is like, I don't care, I don't care, and she ready to go. So Lex gives up on her, and Russian Cream is off the show now. Let me tell you something. Russian Cream is probably, let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to think back. I'm gonna say that she went out the saddest out of any of the baddies in history. I'm just trying to make sure I'm right about that. She went out more sad than Slim. She definitely did, because Slim at least ran her rounds and tried to stay on the show. Who else she go out more sad than? She went out more sad than Jayla, even though Jayla went outside. She went outside because she was pathetic. It was clear that she was hiding behind that cast. And then also she just like you just know that she was just stirring the pot in the background. She ain't that show was not for her. That was not her show. I don't know what they were expecting. She said in her outro, she like, this was more than I thought it was gonna be. It was more than I expected that it was gonna be. It didn't go the way that I was expecting. How did you think that it was gonna go? How did you think that it was gonna? Did you think you were gonna coast by without fighting? That's not what the show allows for anymore. Remember back on like the earlier seasons, there were a few baddies here and there that could coast by for the most part without fighting anybody. They might get into an argument, but they didn't fight anybody. Like Sky, not DJ Sky, but Sky. You remember Sky? There was a lot of people who just coasted by without fighting at all. Like it's not that kind of show anymore. So I don't know if you just like stopped watching the seasons or what you thought that you were signing up for, but any show that you're signing up for on Zeus, you likely to be in several fights throughout the time of you filming. Like, come on, be so for real. All right, so that's the end of that scene. Other moment that I wanted to talk about was the tension between Diamond and Latina. Now, remember, Latina is Amber Rose's niece. She's here and she wants to show that she deserves a spot on the show. I'll be feeling so bad when they be trying to bring people in, like, and they just get like a couple of episodes. Like, I think she's gonna have a total of 3 episodes, right? Like, they bring them in right towards the end, and you got this little bit of window to try to secure your spot on the next season. She better try to secure her spot. Her best bet is at the reunion, but she really don't even got no motion going on besides what she got going on with Diamond. But she comes and she's sitting next to Amber Rose, and Diamond is sitting on the opposite side of the room on a couch too. And Diamond is basically like, I just don't like the fact that you came in and you off rip wanted to come for me, but you didn't even take a second to like see what exactly was going on so that you could have an actual opinion, which is facts. She came in and she was clearly hyped up with a battery in her back from Natalie to go after Diamond, right? She should have, but the problem with that is it makes you look terrible to the fan base. Like the fan base doesn't like that. I don't know why people even do that. Like, why would you even do that? So she responds, she says, yeah, and I did what? What? Do you want your lick back? And everybody's just kind of confused. Like, a lick back means like to get someone back for getting you. Like, are from what happened before, like you got. Do you want your lick back? Right? So they end up squaring up or whatever. This was so funny because I'm gonna tell you something. Latina starts swinging on Diamond, low key. Like she was about to piece her up for real, for real. I was watching that and I saw that she was about to piece Diamond up. I saw that, but she went swung a couple hits. She couldn't quite reach Diamond. Diamond got her hands extended out. She couldn't quite reach her, and then Diamond, her bonnet fell on top of her face, and then she was kind of blinded. That was Latina's ultimate moment to try to get her, but Diamond kind of like fell in a little bit, grabbed her hair, pulled her to the ground, and like swung her. It was like easy. Latina don't look that little to me. She don't look like Anna's weight, and I feel like Anna would not have let that happen to her if she was fighting Diamond. But um, they end up breaking it up, and Diamond get a couple hits into her head while she on the ground. They end up breaking it up. You hear Willie say, "Okay, okay, break it up, break it up, break it up." So Latina get got again. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. You're not coming back because I bet that's the only fight that you got into this whole time. You're definitely not coming back next season. Even if you're Amber Rose's niece, you won't be back. So we go on, and Diamond's like, "Yeah, you know what? Now I'm ready to let it go. I still don't like you, but I'm ready to let it go." Latina's like, "I don't like you either," and they go ahead and go their separate ways. Um, the next moment that I wanted to talk about is Summer and Cold Killer. Now, it's clear that because we're at the end of the season, that they're trying to get them to fight and have a big moment like what happened on Midwest when at the end of the season, uh, Lex and Summer fought Scotty, Anna, and Jayla. Like they're trying to get like a big moment like that to happen again. But you could tell that the girls are a little bit hesitant to start to fight now. I mean, they're at the end of the season. They got 3 days left. They probably not really worried about it. A lot of them is wounded, ready to wrap it up, ready to let this go, ready to come back for the reunion. But Natalie and Rolly are kind of both pushing them to try to like get something out of them. Whenever they're all sitting down in a circle, that the idea is to get them to fight. Like, come on. All right. So boom. Um Cold Killer and Summer kind of size each other up a little. And let me just tell you something. Summer is forever going to be casted on this show as long as she wants to be and as long as the show goes on. And the reason why is because Summer was actually built for a show like this. She really was. I heard Kokilla and her, arguing, and I was paying attention to some of the stuff that Kokilla was saying. And Kokilla said that Summer, I'm just confused because you even be acting like this when the cameras aren't on. So that lets me know something, that most of them don't act super hostile with each other when the cameras aren't on, but that Summer keeps going even when the cameras aren't on. So this is just how Summer acts. Summer ends up saying that she looks like something. I forget exactly what she said that she looks like, but it was making fun of her eyes. And she was like, I just can't help but laugh at you. And Coquilla's like, yeah, you always laughing whenever I pass by. And Summer's like, yeah, I can't help but laugh at you. And Summer's like, so what are you on? And then Coquilla was like, I'm on whatever you on. And they get up. Now they start fighting, and like they size each other up. Summer throw the first swing. Coquilla tried to throw a swing. They kind of like missing each other a little bit. That little right before we about to fall into it for real, for real. And Summer gets one good hit, and that's when Coquilla put her head down. Her hair is now just in her face full of hair. She done got punched in the face, and she tries to rush into Summer because now the she didn't got hit in the head, and it made her head bop back, and her hair is covering her face now, so she can't see. So she tries to rush into Summer so she can grab her. When she tries to rush into Summer, Summer grabs her and flips Coat Killer over on the ground, y'all. Flips her, just pow, just flips her on the ground. And then she just starts hammering her with her left hand. Kokilla was trying to get out of it though. She wasn't just laying there, but Summer was hammering her with that left hand. You could hear Dolly just like hyping Summer up or whatever. And Kokilla is so sick of this. So Killa is like this is all y'all do. This is y'all only move. What's the other move that y'all got? What else y'all got? I feel so bad for specifically Fauna and Kokilla. K Rican ain't really get beat up a lot of time. Like she lost some fights, but she didn't get beat up as much as they got beat up. They got beat on. They got beat on. And I feel bad for Tavi too. She got beat on a lot too. Tavi, if you pay attention, Tavi has had to have shades on this whole entire time. Like this whole episode, she's got these black shades on because underneath them shades, them eyes is shut. They are shut, and they've been shut since she got her baddies chain. They have been shut since then. And I just feel bad for her because like her birthday was on the show, and I remember Lex was like, F your birthday. I just feel bad for Tavi, and I just feel bad for Cold Killer and Fine, because I feel like Cold Killer and Fine are actually probably nice and decent people and cool, and I feel like they didn't get to show their personalities as much as they could have because they were under attack the whole time. They were under attack by the big three the whole entire show. They were constantly on guard. Happy that they had each other. Happy that they had each other. Wasn't much, but they had each other. So, all right. After that, they move on, and I think there's one more scene that I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah. So Pretty P ends up coming back. She comes back. She comes upstairs. Everybody's so happy to see her. And I just realized with the dynamic when I seen all them people running and hug Pretty P, which was basically the whole house except for the big three. I realized that this whole entire season was about the big three versus everybody else. I don't think that there was one episode that went by without the main focus being on Lex, Dolly, or Summer. This is the second season that they've been able to pull this off of making the whole show gravitate around them and them being the center of dramas on the show. That being said, I do think that they're going to end up coming back next season. I mean, they contribute a lot to the show. Uh, Natalie had an issue with the OGs because they stopped contributing to the show as time went on. So I think that they're going to end up coming back. Do I think that any of the other girls from this season should come back? If they're going to bring any of them back, I would say maybe Fauna and maybe Tavi Baby, but I'm really not super invested. I'm trying to think. I'm really not super invested in seeing any return from this season. I don't think that any of them are breakout baddies that should, you know, have another season or bring so much to the show that they need another season. This isn't about whether you like or dislike anybody. This is more so about like who actually contributed more scenes to the season. But anyways, that is the review. Let me know what you guys think. I know everybody does not like the big three, so you might not like what I had to say there, but I do think that it still stands true at the end of the day. And then do you guys think that what is the question that I think should be taken away from this episode? Oh yeah, okay. Did you guys like Choco Brown? Do you guys think that Choco Brown was a good addition to the show? Do you think that she should come back next season? I don't even have to ask you guys if you guys like Russian Cream or not. I don't think anybody liked Russian Cream. Um, what did you guys think about Code Killa versus Summer? What did you guys think about uh Latina versus Diamond? And what did you guys think about Russian Cream versus LCK? Let me know.